Bonjour, everyone. Welcome to this week's Oracle Talks. It's your girl, Jeanette, the Oracle. And I hope that everyone has had an amazing month of May and that you are enjoying the first couple days of Gemini season and are ready to get into June. All right, so welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you returning. Whether you are new or returning, please hit the subscribe button. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. And also, please like the video, just because it helps it to push the ranking of the videos throughout the YouTube ecosystem. Greatly appreciate that. Blessings to everyone. So as usual, I will start with channeled messages for the soul family for this week coming up. And then I will leave the remainder of the time available for open Q&A. So feel free to go ahead and start typing your questions now. And yeah, we'll get right into it. So as we settle in, go ahead and take 5 deep breaths on your own. Deep belly breathing. Allowing yourself to tune into the greater soul family of which we are a part. Calling in your higher self, in your Christed self, your solar human aspect. Pure source-like consciousness as well. Calling in your personal ancestors in the light who walk with you, love you, and support you, guide you, and protect you. Your personal spirit guides, your personal healers, and your personal guardian protectors and guardian angels. Bringing all to the present moment now. And setting the intention to receive messages for the highest and greatest good. And Mother, Father God, we ask for the removal of any and all obstacles in our path, not only for this day, but for the week ahead and the weeks ahead and the months ahead and the years ahead. And please open up all opportunities for abundance and blessings, prosperity, love, grace, joy, and peace to enter into our lives. Let we be of service to the divine. And so it is. Amen. All right. That's good. All right. 3 minutes in. Perfect. All right. So again, good morning to those of you who are coming in. Please like the video. Please subscribe. Feel free to say hi to everybody else who is here. And okay, interesting. Let's see first who of the divine beings of light is wanting to come through with the message for us for this week. Strength card. So this is the goddess energy in Leo specifically. So the lion energy. So those goddess embodiments that gods or goddesses, depending on what resonates with you, that embody the lion energy, depending on the ethnic background that you have a lineage in. But for now, I'll just say Sekhmet as an energy. I'm not sure. This feels like it's a little dark. It might just be me. Okay. All right. Okay, so this message is being sent from Sekhmet. All right, so let me tune into her energy. And at the bottom of the deck so far, we have the Hermit. Okay, so as a reminder to the light workers, we are in the dark days of the moon. We have a new moon coming up on Monday, June 3rd. That's going to be in Gemini. So just be mindful of your energy and your protection protocols. Just because I'm sure, as you already know, the dark days can be ripe with tomfoolery. So greetings, Tamara. Thank you. All right, so let's see. What is Sekhmet wanting us to pay attention to? All right. Temperance, inner balance, inner alchemy, patience. Okay. All right. So let me get the rest of the messages out then. Interesting. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do just a straight, well, hold on one second. Good morning, everyone. Okay. So we have had over this past week the ability to come to a place of greater emotional maturity as well as surrender. And I think there's been a lot of clearing of excess emotions and emotionality that has been on hand, and that's still in process because technically like I said, the new moon doesn't happen until Monday, so we're still getting the tail end of that. So that's going to continue over these next couple of days. So I'm hearing don't re-engage in old energy, right? Emotionally speaking. But for the most part, that's what's been leading us up to this point, and that's what's still in the process of clearing and healing right now. So that means then this energy of temperance, of coming to a place of balance, is good because temperance is about the alchemization of fire energy, or the divine masculine, the yang principle, and water, so feminine energy, or the yin principle, and finding the happy medium of those both. If you notice here in the card in the center, in this bridge of the heart and the solar plexus, we have the hexagram. So it's the yin and the yang in perfect union, the divine masculine and feminine within in perfect union. This is also can talk about, depending on where you are. Well, I'll get into specifics later. I just want to do general. But yeah, so the balance of that is where we're asked to go and to work towards. Now that we either are or coming into greater emotional mastery, or actually it's not even mastery, it's clarity. Now, what's going to help us with that is actually the Princess of Cups, which is also the Page of Cups in other decks. In this particular deck that I'm using the Hermetic Tarot. The princesses represent the actual culmination and physical embodiment of whatever that suit or principle is. Okay, so this represents, I believe it's Malkuth on the Tree of Life. So it's the bottommost Sephiroth on the tree, representing the earth itself. So physical embodiment, the 10th energy. So that's the Princess of Cups. So this culmination of the cups energy. So the cups talks about emotions, Of course, it talks about the soul itself, energy, the quantum field, the heart, love, all those kinds of things. In this context, I would say the phrase I just got was leading with the heart. And when I'm saying heart, I'm meaning truly like the voice of the soul, not emotion. Which, I mean, essentially is what the North Node through Cancer is, right? So we've been talking about this all throughout the year since the node shifted into Cancer last November. That this is what we are learning and processing, is going in that direction of leading with the soul, letting the soul dictate what the next steps are, with the understanding that the soul has more information and more wisdom for what's actually going to be in alignment with us, what's actually going to make us happy, what's actually going to give us what we want. Okay? So our job is to listen to our soul now that we have or are still, in the process of this greater emotional clarity, in order to embody the Temperance card, which basically means to embody our angelic nature here in form. To me, the Temperance card, it is very much associated with Virgo. Virgo, which was the Hermit card that I saw at the bottom of the deck before I started shuffling. That talks about the enlightened person who also can be in a position of, or take on the role of, service to others in terms of teaching what they know. The Temperance is the actual enlightenment process. So it can be that, but also can talk about the merge with the higher self, because this is number 14. It comes after the Hermit, but different things. Now, what can help us with embodying this Princess of Cups energy is the Six of Wands. Okay, this is also a Leo card. This is Jupiter in Leo. It's a card of success and victory and overcoming. It can be a card of overcoming, but it's really about finding your place now, finding your rhythm now. So you know what this feels like. This combination, to me, what I'm getting is like that feeling of flow. You know what that feels like. And flow doesn't necessarily mean that things are easy, but it's just like, when there's something for you to do, when there's an action for you to take, when there's, basically, yeah, whatever action is for you to take, whether or not you like it or not, like when it's your time, you do it and it's good because it's in alignment, it's in flow. Now, there is this Nine of Swords. There are some remnants still popping up from the past of old behavior, potentially thoughts, belief systems, patterns. Okay, so the divine is here doing its best to protect us from this. All right. But we also got to do our part and catch our thoughts, catch our behaviors. This being Mars and Gemini is very much talking about the recent transit of Mars through Gemini, which was the past 6 weeks, because it only just went into Cancer within this last week or so. So this would put us back to right around the beginning of April. Okay, so remember that time was the time when we were really focused on, or the messages that were coming through were asking us to focus on shifting our mindsets, shifting our consciousness, working on those deeper belief systems, right? So that is because we're still in this transition, right? Because Mars only just went into Cancer and we're just coming into this more mutable energy with Gemini, where we're at the point now with the Gemini energy of fully integrating. Okay, so the Gemini or the mutable sign energy or a mutable concept, it's about integration, and it will do some weeding out of anything that's still not working, but it's about integration and evolving into the new. Now, for those of you who are tarot heads, and if you're not and you want to be, take my Divination Through Tarot course. It's coming up soon. Check my website for details. But the Temperance card also is the Sagittarius card. Sagittarius is the opposite of Gemini. So Gemini is the two operating as one, and Temperance is the merge or the alchemization of two into one. So very much about, excuse me, integration for everyone. So that's actually what we're stepping into. So it means that in this week coming up and in the next few weeks coming up until we get to the next cardinal energy, the new initiation energy, which is going to be actually the new moon in Cancer, which is an eclipse in the beginning of July. We're going to be practicing this walk of being in control of the mind and being in control of the emotions, but not in control in terms of like closing off, but in terms of following the flow. Fire and water, wands and cups. So this is our test run is what I'm hearing. And part of what has been I guess, the thing we've had to work through before is maintaining the work at this stage in the game. Because at this point, like we've, I mean, once we start the new moon next week, we're going to be 2/3 of the way done, right? So, you know, in the past, when you've made it, you know, kind of this far in your process of growth and development, you might have started to become lax on your discipline or start to forget what you were going after, start to forget your passion, right? Because with this Wands energy, this is about like staying connected to what you love. And that may be a lot of what the current Jupiter in retrograde is doing for you right now, is helping remind you of what your why is, why you're doing what you're doing, why you're making the choices that you're making. What is it that you are seeing for yourself in the future that you're wanting to embody, right? So, you know, in the past, like if you have kind of like let yourself go off track around this point or what have you, like I think that, you know, again, if you've really been conscientious in doing your work, you'll be able to push through and finish strong. Okay, because I think now, and when I say you, I should say we, I think we're at a place now where we're very clear and we believe now that what's to come is better, and we're willing to bank on that, right? Our faith is stronger now because we've proven it to ourselves with our walk up to this point. We have higher mind, and there is greater peace and balance between our mind and our heart. We're getting a better understanding now of how this process of being in communion with the divine and simultaneously navigating the material world and the cycles of the world that we're bound by, right? So the seasons, our bodies, cycles that we're bound by, etc. We're starting to get it now. or I think actually over this past couple of weeks we've been getting it, right? But I think now it's been slowly making its way from pure consciousness into the emotional body, which is what I think this past month has been about. And now the physical embodiment and practicing that for this month ahead. Okay. And that's where we're going to get supported, is being able to do that. But right now in this week, you know, from now till next Oracle Talks next week, leading with the heart. So keep your heart open. The Princess of Cups is actually very similar to the Queen of Swords in that both are topless, or they're wearing at least a sheer top. But I think in this deck they're both topless. It depends on the decks that you have, but for this specifically, in general, when you see nudity, it talks about there not being any filter and it being clear and open, right? This is vulnerability. This is a precious energy. This is innocence. And this is love. This is devotion. And that's beautiful because devotion brings a different kind of vibe to our aura, to our spirit body. And our life is devotional because it proves God. Okay, so that is general. So let me get into specifics. And then again, if you want your individual questions answered, just go ahead and type them in the chat box. And good morning to those new folks who have come in. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please like the video so that it spreads this throughout the YouTube environment. Okay, so how can we end the month strong in the practical matters of life? Okay, so as it relates to work and finances, get done the things that you know need to get done, or at least take steps towards that, because ultimately it will actually make you feel better. I mean, we only have a couple, like literally just a few days until the new month begins, but I'll just say at least, you know, in the next couple days, get done what you can get done and take steps towards the things that may still be left on the to-do list. Okay. But know that you do have time. So don't get yourself stressed about anything. So that felt more work related. Let me see about money though. Okay, so things are going to be balancing out. So if for some reason they have been kind of up and down recently, or even just lackluster or stagnant. Okay, if things have been low, they should be actually, yeah, they should have actually returned back to a place of balance by this point. Okay. If you have been good with money, then what's needed is to take some time to strategize about how to take what you have and grow it for the future. Okay, so because I'm getting the vibe that even if money is good, it's still kind of like stagnant, even if it's like up, right? But this is the perfect time to be thinking of ways to be able to grow your money. And that you need to pay attention to the soul as opposed to the external world for right now. Okay. Because your soul will tell you what is going to be true for you based on where you are in your life cycle. And then once that is clear, then you can get support financially, like with, advice or whatever, or take action, whatever that is. Okay, relationships. For those of you who are in partnerships for this week ahead, so committed partnerships with a long-term partner or married. I feel like it's important for okay, I'll say this. Up to this point, you guys might have been in a place where you were taking some time to do some self-assessment and partner assessment of seeing like, okay, based off of all the energy that we invested up to this point, based off of what we've been through up to this point, are we getting our needs met? Are we where we want to be? So I think there's been a lot of assessing and accounting, especially if it's just been kind of ho-hum or negative, right? Now that that has happened, though, it's time to really make the moves towards each other to come to a place of reconciliation. To recommit to why you made the choice to be together. And maybe even honestly just take some time for yourselves in the next couple days or the week ahead. Especially if life has been stressful or just really chaotic. It's important to block out the distraction and get back to what's true, get back to what's important, which is the heart-to-heart connection, right? That's important. But overall, I think you guys are fine. I think that though, yeah, this assessment or any potential external stress has been weighing heavy. But the defenses need to come down, and you got to go heart to heart if you want to move things forward. I mean, if some of you are considering moving on from this committed partnership or marriage, like if you've done the assessing and you can see and you guys have come to an agreement that you're not going to be able to move forward together, that's okay too. But I think if you are coming to that place, it should actually be a place of peace. If it's a contentious decision to separate, then it means you guys still have some more work to do. I'll just say it like that. But if there's not, peace, and peace doesn't mean that it's going to feel good, right? But if there is still warring happening, I would caution you to not make that decision right yet. But if you've done the assessment and there is peace in the decision of walking away, then it's okay. And then if you're worried, if you do choose to walk away about, if you're going to be okay financially or like how things are going to be with that, Spirit saying you're fine. You'll be fine. Okay. You'll be fine. Now, so for those of you single and looking, So there's nobody on the radar. So again, this message of there has been a lot of emotional clearing and healing that's occurred. And there will be new energy coming in, new opportunities coming in. Your job is to stay in your heart, to stay innocent. The Temperance card can talk about a divine partnership, okay? And that would be energy that's coming in. And so your job is now divine partner, meaning like just a soulmate, right? That has a potential to give you what you want. Your job is to stay grounded in what it is that you want as this new opportunity or opportunities come in, because that is going to be shifting for you if that hasn't been the case recently. Okay. And also, it's important to hold to your heart, hold to the faith about what you want so that you can magnetize that, especially since, again, the action here is the Princess of Cups. She is a magnet. So holding true to that vision will draw what you want closer to you at this point. Now, for those of you who are single and are also dating one or more people, but nothing's settled into a committed partnership yet. I don't know if anyone is going to solidify yet. The person that seems to be on your mind potentially has a Earth Sun sign, so this could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Or you might have met somebody during these past couple weeks. And if you did, it looks like it's probably going to be more Taurus energy. Or they have Taurus prominent in their chart, like a rising sign or moon sign. Or maybe they have a lot of planets in Taurus or in the Taurus house, which is the second house. So maybe they're on your mind, or they have the bulk of your attention. So if that's the case, with them, just know that it would be slow going. And your job, again, is to still stay mindful of what it is that you want. Okay. And then last messages for light workers, and then I'll go to questions. Oh, 33, 44. Okay, so for light workers, the last bit of deeper healing that was initiated and facilitated with the full moon in Scorpio that we had 2 weeks ago, that is finishing in what is available now. So that for that weekend, that's when there was deep healing happening on behalf of the divine feminine, and in particular Earth, as well as divine masculine, and in particular Osiris. Or Anubis. But we're left with those two principles here now, because a lot of the external stuff that was hindering that healing it's not all gone, but a significant portion of that has been completed. So now we're entering into a phase of greater integration between those two principles. So you can work with the aquamarine. Aquamarine ray or light codes or principles to support that integration work, whether within yourself, with your clients, or on behalf of the collective. Okay, but that work was successful. Continue to protect the work though, and protect yourselves, because as I mentioned earlier, we're in the dark days of the moon, so stay up on that. Okay, so now that this has occurred, the healing, it seems, up to this point has been with the upper levels, upper chakras of the feminine and masculine principle. Once this integration has occurred, okay, and stabilized, then most likely it's going to shift into the embodiment phase and having to braid that down into the physical world. So shifting from the upper chakras, which includes the fourth, and then heading into the solar plexus, sacral, and root. So I'm interested to see actually what's going to come through in terms of the Lightworker forecast guidance for the month of June. I haven't done that yet, but I'll be curious to see if anything comes through about that specifically. But just know that that's the order that it seems to be going in. And it's a fortification right now, it seems, of the divine feminine principle of solidifying power in the heart space and coming back to a place of equilibrium and self-sovereignty and soul sovereignty. And the masculine is occurring too, but it's going to happen a little bit slower. But such is the nature. The masculine always takes longer. Interesting. I'm going through the cards down here in the center. I had actually expanded the reading, but the center we have King of Pentacles, followed by the Six of Pentacles, followed by the Queen of Pentacles. So we actually have the divine pair here. Physical embodiment. So that confirms what was just coming through. And then a new beginning with the Fool, new karmic path. And then we have Justice. So this is partnership. And then we have the Two of Cups, love, Four of Wands, divine union. So this is relationship energy. And then we have the Empress. Wow. Ten of Pentacles. Wow. And the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So for some, not all, and I am specifically still in the Lightworker group specifically. You are coming into union with a divine counterpart. I'm going to avoid using certain terminology because folks go on tangents with that. Whether it's a new person or old person is irrelevant, because even if it's an old person, they would still have to do their work and their healing, so the energy is still going to be new. Like it's going to be new contract because, again, with the Eight of Cups in the past, the slate got wiped clean. So the love connection is still there, but the karma stuff, which is the other 6 cups here, that stuff is done. So if it is an old person and they've done their work and they've come back, they are going to actually feel new. The contract is going to be new. However, if they haven't, this is going to be a new person coming in. Again, for you, whoever's watching, it's irrelevant who the person is. Your job is to stay in the heart. Because ultimately, we're going to get what we want, which is the divine. That's beautiful. Wow. I'm down for it. Okay, so those are the messages. I hope folks like that new format of like getting into more specifics. So now we can open it up. What questions do people have? Either about what just came through or for yourself. And again, welcome to those who are coming in. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to new subscribers. Welcome back to those who are already subscribed. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Yes. All right, so questions. Questions. How's everyone doing, by the way? I hope good. Oh, I'm also hearing for light workers, keep your heart pure. Pure meaning clear. And continue to do work either with your clients and or on behalf of the collective of keeping the heart clear in general, okay? Because it's not out of the woodworks yet right now, okay? Because there is still interference around, okay? So even though the healing has occurred, and specifically with the Scorpio full moon, it was around the throat and the heart chakra. But there is still, opportunistic energy that always shows up, at least for the time being, around the dark days of the moon. So be on guard for that. Keep the heart light, keep the heart pure. Christine Keith says, hi, I would love some insight on my newly forming skill sets that are coming into public awareness, specifically in relation to music. So what about, are you wanting to know, what's the actual question? I guess is what I'm asking, because it's just, I get that you want insight, but what's your question? And what are you referring to? Skill sets? Is this like technical skill of playing something or singing or what have you? Or are we talking about spiritual skills and gifts? Oh, hello, Sissy B. Oh, no worries, Christine. Yeah, definitely clarify. Specificity is the thing. Specificity is the thing. While you are writing the rest of your comment, Christine, I'm gonna pull just some few remaining cards from Sekhmet as well. Charisse wrote, it was a tumultuous past weekend dealing with others' energies that I went into hermit mode this week to replenish. I feel much better balanced now, yet still susceptible and trying to go with the flow and not internalize people's BS. It's always a journey, right? It might also be good, Charisse, to invest in some tiger's eye or even lion skin to build up your sense of personal power and strength. Because, you know, shit's always going to be happening, right? And excuse me for those who might be offended that I curse. But having that inner fortitude, to having a stronger fortitude to not get thrown off or collapsing on self is important to develop. So lion energy in general, but also those two crystals I just mentioned can be helpful on an energetic level to kind of build up your ego in a healthy way, because ego isn't bad. Interesting. Temperance came out again. Okay, so Christine says, I have always been in the healing arts, but would like to add more of a musical side to things. We don't really know how to step into that role. Thank you for staging it always on time. Oh, you're welcome. And I love the blue rose that you have as your profile pic. I don't know that I noticed that before, but it's pretty. It actually looks like a teal rose. Wearing tiger's eye close to my chest as we speak. Perfect. Put it on your stomach though. Unless it's a pendant, then you know, just leave it. But yeah. Okay. I'm a singer and massage therapist, but I never combined the two. So Christine, what's coming through is you actually need to practice and explore toning and playing with your voice if you haven't already. With your own body, your own energy system, and see what unlocks, because what you develop within yourself is actually what is the gift for others. Ooh, judgment card. Okay. You're welcome, Charisse. But that's how you'll discover, because be the scientist for yourself. Use your own body as the vehicle. Never combine the two worlds. Oh, yeah. And then once you've spent some time with that, then you can do a test and just add this as a new service, or see if folks will be open to, like, you know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes of a new experience, or do like a test run of like free versions of it for, like, you know, a week or what have you, whatever it is. Interesting. And the King of Pentacles again. Okay. So from Sekhmet, what this is about again is temperance. So she's not she is not moving from this message as it relates to that. So this integration period. Our job is again this princess energy, and now she's giving the fire version, the wands. So again, the princesses in this deck, in particular, are the culmination of that suit. So when we talk about the wands, we're really talking about spirit, ashe, energy, life force, the Holy Spirit, all of that, right? So this is pure energy. What the soul is doing is waking up to its true nature with the last judgment. This is resurrection. But in this context, I think, again, it's more reinforcing this message of integration of what is true. Because it's bringing online in a deeper way what is the next level. Any specific guidance with regard to keeping the heart open while protecting during these dark days? So you can protect during the dark days with protecting crystals, right? Protection doesn't mean you are closed off. It's just having boundaries, and boundaries can be set without you having to use your energy. So crystals are always like a really easy go-to with that. Now, in terms of anxiety, the important thing is actually to ground, in particular through the lower chakras, okay? Because ground in with self. But that is separate from protection. You don't have to close the heart off for protection. If anything, you're going to have a greater sense of empowerment if your heart is open. Remember, you are the influencer of the environment versus being influenced by it predominantly if you're in your soul sovereignty, because you're acting as a catalyst for the external world. But yeah, so for external protection, black tourmaline, tiger's eye, because especially since Sekhmet is coming through right now, and especially because we are in the dark days of the moon, if you are more energetically sensitive or feeling more weak-willed or not safe or any of that stuff, definitely lean on tiger's eye, lion skin, tourmaline. And also black onyx can be good for helping to pull off any excess emotional energy that's coming up, okay? But also staying focused on what is yours is important, not other people's. But again, that's a lot of what Sekhmet is talking about, is taking care of self first. Okay. All right. So again, with this new spread that came through, still on the subject of temperance, Princess of Wands is the thing. So the fire version versus the water version, which was in the last spread. The soul is getting the keys to the kingdom. They're being handed off to it for this stage of integration and what this is going to look like. Now, interesting, I didn't show this in the last spread, but the Hierophant actually was coming out as our individual energies. This is Taurus. The Hierophant is the high priest. So this is faith in the workings of the divine. Taurus, of course, is Earth itself. So this is the physical embodiment of the divine, the communion with the divine. The high priestess card is the full spiritual nature. High Priest is the spiritual nature embodied and encoded. Okay, so double message with these two princesses that keep coming up about the physical culmination and embodiment of the work that we've been doing. And this is power, opulence, family, commitment, you know, everything related to Taurus. And in the heart of the matter is the Queen of Cups. Literally, this is the card of Cancer. So remember what I was saying at the beginning about the North Node through Cancer, this message of following the flow of the divine. Cardinal water, leading with the heart, grounded in the emotions. And then at the bottom of the deck, again, we have the King of Pentacles, which showed up before. This technically is Taurus because the kings are fixed energy. Okay, so this is the minor arcana version of this card, of the High Priest. So this is about you, all of us, building the life that we want. And making sure we nurture our heart and our inner world in the process. This is what's the priority. Because this is the piece that's always been missing up to this point. If we haven't been getting what we want, or if the world hasn't been showing up the way it needs, it's always been because the nurturance hasn't been there. And that's what the Queen of Cups brings. And that's what we have to fight for. That's what we have to fight for. Even if that's what we have to fight for, even if it differs from what someone else wants. That's okay. Everybody's going to have their own thing of what they want and what they need. It doesn't make them wrong. It doesn't make you wrong. But your job is to stay true and have faith in what you want and know that you're going to get it. Because, I mean, literally what's next, because I'm going down through the middle of the deck again, it's the Ace of Cups. Renewal, new heart, and again, new love. New soul connections, new contracts. Right after that, Ace of Pentacles. New relationships, new money, new path. Four of Pentacles, and then stabilizing that and finding balance. Being grounded in that, and then Ace of Swords. So we got 3 aces in a row with that. It's beautiful. There's a lot of good energy. A lot of good energy that is coming up and shifting in these next few weeks. Because we've been putting in the work. I mean, basically since that new moon in Aries. You know, once we hit that corridor of the spring equinox, and then we came into that April corridor with the lunar activity and choosing the path that we are going to take. Like, again, those who chose to engage in, I'll say, higher trajectory behavior instead of what they've been doing in the past. You're being promised, or you're being told, that your heart's desires are coming. Because you got rid of the distractions or the hindrances. Now, part of what this is that's coming through as well too right now is this is actually going to help us serve better these new contracts and be a more effective change maker for the world, for New Earth, literally New Earth. Okay. So, I mean, yes, on one hand, it's going to bring you fulfillment on a personal human level, but on the other hand, the new that comes in is for truly the benefit of all. Now, if you are, for whatever reason, worried or anxious about what or if something is going to be coming in that's new, part of what should have been happening for you the last few months at this point is and you're probably actually still in process with that, honestly, because we're in Gemini season now, is considering your place in the world. Whether that is literally like the your place in the planet itself, the world, intentional, but also locally, like the country that you're in, the state that you're in, the county that you're in, the city that you're in, the community that you're in, the racial group that you're in, the gender group that you're in, like all that kind of stuff. Um, there may have been and continue to be a lot of consideration about that. Um, but again, the message coming through is that with this Jupiter having gone retrograde and, during the remainder of the time, which is going to be till the beginning or mid of August, because we have 4 months of it, it's more likely than not, it should be a returning to what is true for you, what's already kind of been in place. I don't know at this point, and it depends on each person's path. I don't know at this point that there's going to be like truly any brand new stuff that's coming in. It might be more of a matter of, again, reminding you of what your why is and recommitting to that. Regrounding in your faith about that. So if you've been in your head about, whether it's good enough or whether it's impactful enough or any of that BS, like that has to stop, or you have to continue working on the process of stopping that mental loop. Because your job isn't to save the world. Like one person can't do that. Your job is to play your part. So whatever is there, that is there for you to return to and embody and fully give, that's your piece of the greater web. That's your job. And then if the assignment shifts, then you shift at that point. But if you haven't been told to shift and you're in your head, then that means that whatever's coming up is actually not true, and you need to go back to what is and have faith in that. Have faith in the soul, not in the mind, which is conditioned by the external world. Like we need the ego, right, to make plans and to drive things forward, but we don't take instruction from the ego. The ego serves the soul, okay? And in the tree of life, the queen is up in the top the top 3 Sephiroth at the top of the tree. The kings, they're the sun. So this energy sits below. Not that it's less than, but this is the activator of that, right? So the soul speaks its truth, and then, or the feminine principle, and then the human ego, the mind, or the masculine principle takes that information and then brings it into physical manifestation. Okay? But remember who's boss. And that might also be part of why this keeps coming back, this Temperance card, because this can actually, this for me is the higher self card. The higher self being the consciousness of the soul. And letting this lead the way. Okay. Cool. All right, so that is our time. I hope that blessed everyone. Let me see, I get closing message from Sekhmet. Hopefully that helps Sissy, Sissy B. But no, I do feel you on the heart stuff actually, because this morning even, like, I woke up and during my time working with energy, I was just like, it's gonna be one of those days. And I know, which is frustrating because like I have a lot I need to do today and tomorrow. Over the weekend, like, you know, I'll be spending time with friends, but when the heart space is all over the place, it's annoying. So I get that. So I myself will be working on that too. All right, so I'll get closing message and then I'm going to bounce. Oh, the Lovers. What was I just telling you guys about this? Finding the soul group. Being a part of your soul group, as well as divine partnership. This is also the card of Gemini. So for me, this energy is very much inner circle, close friends, as well as divine partner. Okay. And this is more so about the other or others and being in divine union with them, as opposed to the Temperance energy, which has been coming out consistently, which talks about the merge. And that's more of the individual personal. So there's that. There is that. All right, y'all. Love you much. And God willing, see you next week. I am only going to have time, it looks like, to start doing videos for June for the forecast. Most likely Monday. If I have the energy Sunday, I'll start. But I'll probably actually get to it Monday and Tuesday. I may or may not be able to get all 12 in, but that would be good if I can. So yeah, just know that it's not going to be out by the 1st because I live stream them, since it's faster than recording them and trying to upload. So just know it's going to be a couple days late. So yeah, but I'm curious to see what the messages are going to be that come through, because this is the last month before we have our next eclipse cycle. We're going to have a new moon in Cancer on July 2nd, which is the day after my Lightworker Incubator course starts. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes through as messages to kind of wrap up before we begin a new journey. With that being said, Lightworker Academy. I have 3 courses that are available to choose from. So you can do one or all, depending. You can find all the information on my website, innersunalchemy.com. There's a Divination Through Tarot course, so I'll be teaching my interpretation of the cards, as well as several spreads that I use. I do a lot of spreads, but just I'll do a couple of the main ones and teach you guys those in that class. The other is the Astrological Soul of Your Business. So if you have a hobby that you want to turn into a business, or you run your own business, this is great because it will teach you how to basically like look at the chart of your business and figure out what makes it tick and all that good stuff. So that's the other class. And then the third is the Lightworker Incubator. That's the one where we're going through all the different levels of accelerating your personal ascension process, learning about higher dimensional beings, higher ways of self-protection, and just like all the things. It's a lot. So go to the website. If you click on, I think the tab, oh yeah, the tab is Lightworker Academy, but it'll give you a drop-down menu. And the drop-down menu will have the courses there. So you can read up on each one and then let me know which ones you want to take. The tarot course and the Astrological Soul of Your Business course are both like truly full open enrollment. So if you want to take it, you can take it. Although I would advise for the tarot course that you not be a beginner, because I'm not going to be going over basics. It's more of an intermediate level. Which just means that you should already like know the basics of tarot, right? Like if this is your first time picking up a deck and you don't know how to like trust your intuition or, you know, shuffling cards, or like it's not the class for you, right? But if you've already been doing a little bit, even if it's just with oracle cards, like then take the class. The course that has an application process is the Lightworker Incubator. Just because there does need to be a little gatekeeping with that. So I'll send you a couple application questions to answer. And it's just for me to see, you know, kind of where you are and for you to also speak on where you are. But that's actually, it plays into the decision, but the main decision is going to come from spirit. So every week I go into council for those who are applying for that and see if it's appropriate for the current round of the class to allow entry or not. But regardless of whether entry is allowed or not, I will reply back with the channel message that comes through. Yeah. And so even if you are denied entry into the incubator, it does not mean you can't apply for ones that come up, just because depending on what comes through in the message, it's part of like who else is going to be in the class and how the growth can actually like be beneficial for everybody concerned. If you're in the right timing for doing the class, or if there's like some other healing work or other opportunities even that are opening up that you need to be open and free and available for, whatever the case may be. So just know that that's the only caveat with the Lightworker Incubator, but the other two, there's no caveat. So yeah, apply please. And last announcement, I am doing a gratitude challenge, quote unquote, really gratitude discipline, starting with the new moon in Gemini. So starting next Monday. So what's going to make this challenge or discipline different than what you've come across in the past is that instead of being grateful for things you have in your life, or being grateful for yourself and things related to you, it's going to be a challenge or a discipline of being grateful on behalf of other people. So, you know, being grateful that, you know, somebody just got a new job, being grateful that somebody has the resources to handle a health condition that they're facing right now, expressing gratitude that somebody is making the choice to leave an unhealthy relationship. It's being grateful for what you see outside of you as opposed to your inner world. So that's going to be the practice. So every day, and I'll try to be good about posting it. I'm already in my own personal gratitude practice, but I am going to do my best to be on social media each day. That's the only downside for me being the facilitator is that I have to like, you know, be on every single day, which I don't like to do. But for this lunar cycle, I'll do it. But I'll try my best to do it so that every day I'm writing on social media outside of just my journal, who I'm speaking gratitude over. And again, it's not as it relates to me in any way, shape, or form. It's gratitude for what I see happening for other people, whether I know them or not. Okay. So I'll make it a point to do my best to do that every day so you can see what that looks like. And I'll encourage people to comment below in the on the Instagram page for that. And yeah, we'll do that every day for the whole Gemini lunar cycle. And that's truly going to take us up to the new moon in Cancer, which is the solar eclipse in July. So imagine the blessings that are going to be seeded in other people's lives, as well as your own, because you know, when you bless other people, you get blessed by the universe, because the universe is like, oh, I need to give you more, right? Give you more to be grateful for, and give more to other people for you to speak gratitude about them, right? But imagine how many lives you can participate in helping to transform the seeds that you are planting for yourself in 30 days leading into this next eclipse cycle, and how that can not only bless, but catapult you forward. It's a beautiful thing. How much light can we bring? How much can we scale this? So if you're not already following me on Instagram, please follow me there at Inner Sun Alchemy, all one word. And yeah, tag your friends. The post is up. Tag your friends, let them know, and encourage people to participate. Encourage people to participate. The hashtag I'm going to use is Grateful Moon. Grateful Moon is a hashtag. Okay. And I may do this again in the future, depending on what people want, how they feel about it, all that good stuff. All right, guys. So you guys are lucky today. I'm doing a longer one because I didn't have class. So all right, y'all. Love you much, and bye.